Welcome to Radio Row at Super Bowl 56 in Los Angeles. We're live here at Sports Philanthropy Network with my co-host Caleb Bradham. I'm Roy Kessel, and we're very excited to have with us a special guest today, Artis Stevens. Artis is joining us on behalf of Big Brothers Big Sisters, and so much great work that they do. We're so excited to learn more about the programs and figure out how we as a network and all of our supporters can help collaborate with the work that Big Brothers and Big Sisters does. So, Artis, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. It is a pleasure to be with you and have the opportunity to talk.
We know that you're getting pulled a lot of directions this week, and it's a great opportunity here to be in front of a lot of media and really reach across the country. Big Brothers Big Sisters has a national presence, but I think a lot of people still don't know exactly how expansive it is. They've heard of it, but I'd love to have you share, number one, a little more about the organization, and number two, how you got involved and why you got involved.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the question. And yeah, it's an amazing organization, first and foremost. So what a lot of people don't know is that we were founded over a century ago as an alternative innovation to the juvenile justice system. Right, so we were founded for the idea of serving the young people in communities who had the most need, right, and needed support and needed the types of relationships and the positive relationships. So we were that innovative idea to support that. And you sort of fast forward 100 years, and I always sort of use this term that we were born from justice to create more equity for young people, bringing together diverse communities so that every kid could feel included for opportunity and a better life. That idea that communities got together and villages got together to build has now made our organization the largest one-to-one youth mentoring organization in the country. We have 230 agencies that serve 5,000 communities, hundreds of thousands of young people, hundreds of thousands of bigs who are volunteers who get involved. And we change lives. That's the most important thing, is that the one-to-one relationships that we build are life-changing. Absolutely for the young people that we serve, but also for the bigs who get involved, because the reciprocal sense of mentorship is so powerful in the work we do. And then, what I'll share about my involvement, I am I've been in the organization for a year now. So I just crossed my anniversary. I'm also delighted that I'm the first Black CEO in the organization's history. And that for me means a lot. It's pride of accomplishment, not for myself, but for all who blaze the trail for me to have this opportunity, but also important for representation, for people to see the opportunities and how we can break barriers and how we can exceed and do well. And I came to this organization because I knew the need and the opportunity. I've been in mission-driven organizations for my entire career. And last year or 2 years ago, when Ahmaud Arbery was murdered, it really hit me hard. And it hit me hard not only because of everything we know of the history of our country, but it hit me because Ahmaud was from my hometown, Brunswick, Georgia, right? So we're small town, we knew each other and I like, everybody knows each other. The street he was murdered on, I walked on when I was a kid, and it didn't make me question if I was doing the right work, the right mission, but it did make me question if I was doing enough. And it wasn't too long after that Big Brothers Big Sisters came calling, and it was like a match made in heaven, and I'm proud to be here.
So I want to say thank you, first of all, for being vulnerable and sharing that. I told you I live in Milwaukee. In the past year, we've had the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. We've had the Waukesha Parade massacre. I live in a hurting community, and quite frankly, I don't think there are enough resources available to create the equity that we need due to the lack of injustice in Milwaukee. So I really appreciate Artis, the Big Brothers Big Sisters program, and the work you're doing. Most people know Milwaukee is one of the 10 most segregated cities in the United States. Could you please take a moment and teach me, how is Big Brothers Big Sisters different than the other community programs that are out there, like the Boys and Girls Club? What separates you, and how you're digging deep into hearts of communities like Milwaukee, the south side of Chicago, Vegas, LA, countries all throughout the country that are hurting?
Yeah, thank you for the question. So I'm going to answer it two ways. Number one, I'm going to say there is uniqueness in this model and this experience of mentoring, right? We focus on one-to-one mentoring and then building that and amplifying that with across-men. And we're the unique provider of that kind of work on a scaled model across the country, being able to go deep. Our programs are evidence-based, so we measure the effectiveness that we're having on young people in that way. And then what is really critical about our program is also the longevity of our program. So if you look at our model is based upon the idea of having a volunteer, having a staff person, and having the parent connected. And the young person's in the center, right? And the reason why that's so important is that we know those three anchors are all aspects of the inner circle that a young person needs. And then we curate opportunities across the community and services to come in, right? And why that is so linked to your question is because where that helps us, even though we're unique, because Boys and Girls Clubs, which I worked for early in my career, is a large group and programmatic organization that is building centered. You know, ours is much more relationship centered because it goes in the home, it goes wherever the kids go. You know, we follow wherever kids go. They're both amazing, great, powerful organizations. What we're looking to do is that we understand that no one organization can do it alone. No one person can do it alone. And to your question, if we're going to address big problems, we need big solutions. And one of the biggest solutions that we have and the opportunity that we have is through partnership. So we're right now building models that allow us to expand our programs in ways that are unique and deliver in terms of outcomes. I'll give you a couple of examples. We just launched a relationship with Girl Scouts of America, right? And we launched that relationship because they said we have a need and we have an opportunity with all the curriculum, but we need more young girls and mentors in communities of need that we had access to. We needed the curriculum that they provided because it was a lot of self-esteem curriculum, STEM-based curriculum that maybe we didn't have, but we could provide and coach our volunteers. And it was creating that type of beautiful marriage and partnership that could have the kind of impact and outcome. So that's an example of, even though you may be different, even though we may have unique ways of delivering, we're all trying to achieve the same result, which is making lives better in our communities and helping young people to advance.
I think what's great about what you're talking about is really diving into the depth of those relationships, because when you look around, right, we're at the Super Bowl today. We were just at the Hall of Fame luncheon where the new class was recognized and all of the Hall of Famers are there. And when you listen to their stories, each one of them, when they get on that podium in Canton and they talk about what it took for them to get to the Hall of Fame, almost inevitably, each person has one individual in their life that pulled them onto the right track, whether that was a parent, a high school coach, somebody in the community that kept them, mentored them, worked with them, kept them on target to have that success. And we realize how fragile that success can be because many of them were really just one step away from being out of sports, out of football. And so having the depth of the relationships you're describing with this mentorship is critical. And we would love, as Sports Philanthropy Network, to explore how we can support that and help identify additional mentors for that through our chapters in the different communities. The work that you're doing is so important, and we know that it's critical to the lives of these kids.
Yeah, and you said something that I think was really so powerful, and it's this idea: if you can see it, you can be it, right? We talk a lot about it. I learned that so much in my community where my mom and dad used to always say we didn't have a lot of means, but we were rich in relationships, right? We had those level of connections. You think about what's happening in our country when it comes to mentorship today. 1 in 3 kids in our country don't have a sustained positive mentor in their life. Even on our waiting list alone, at Big Brothers Big Sisters, we have 30,000 kids who are waiting on a mentor in their lives. And most of those kids are boys. And most of those boys are boys of color, right? We want to make sure that we are attracting volunteers and mentors in our space because they feel like they can belong. It's not that people don't want to do this, right? But they have to know how. They have to know how they engage and how to effectively become a part of this kind of community. And that's why it's so important that we're getting the message out. But it's also so important to what you said about where other communities can connect. So you think about the sports community in the area and the field that you work. We have great partnerships around sports and with athletes as well. But the more we're able to show, because a lot of the kids we serve, sometimes they think the only aspect for them to get out of the community or the circumstance they may be in is through sports, right? I was the same way at one point, right? I thought my journey was through football in high school, and I thought that was my way until I got significantly injured. But I was pushed by a village in the community to say, you still can do every single thing you want to do, but you got to do it in a different way. I ended up being the first in my family to go to college and graduate. University of Georgia. Go Dogs, by the way. But what I will tell you is what's so important is that they can still pursue athletics.
National championship, though.
That's right. National championship. Thank you. You can still pursue athletics in sports, but the idea is that when you look at the modern day athlete, it's a bigger brand. It's all the things that they can do. It's all the things that they do from a business and standpoint and charity and philanthropy. So the work you're doing is so important that we bridge those things for mentorship and connection. And that's why organizations like ours can truly make a difference in ensuring that the power of sports really has the influence on being able to reach into communities, and particularly communities where kids sometimes don't have the opportunity because they're too often marginalized.
So, Artis, I think that's really interesting because throughout the week we've had all kinds of NFL athletes on the show talking about giving back, foundations, charity work, things like that. Jelani Jenkins gave all the credit to Amon Green. I was at a Legends and Leaders event where the speaker said, I was fishing with my uncle, and he said that my aunt was the only woman he ever had, and I didn't know what that meant, but I knew that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing stories like that as artists over and over and over and over. And I'll be really transparent. I'm one of those kids who grew up in a home without a dad, without a positive mentor, and left to my own device. And frankly, I was on court-ordered probation until the day I turned 18. I needed a mentor, and I didn't have one. For all the kids who need a mentor right now, and they don't have one, how can people get involved and volunteer to come alongside you and do and I'm just going to point some of these things that you just set out. Solutions come through partnerships.
Yeah.
1 in 3 children do not have a positive mentor. We talked about how much representation matters, and I agree with you. Let's match people up to mentors that represent their future selves. And the thing that really, really stood out to me, born from justice to create equity. That right there is a bumper sticker, a banner, and a logo that belongs in every school in America. How do people get involved, Artis?
Yeah, well, I will tell you this. One of the things I tell people all the time, because I'm asked a lot that question around, well, it's too much for me to do. I can't take on a problem this big. Or, you know what, I'm not perfect. I'm not a perfect person. So how am I going to be a role model, for a kid or a mentor for a kid? And I always respond with the same answer. You don't have to be perfect. You just got to be present and persistent, right? That's the power of what true mentorship about. Kids want your authentic self. You bring your authentic self to the table, you build incredible relationships, and then those relationships become reciprocal. Because most of our mentors and our volunteers tell us they went into a relationship to make big change and big impact in a kid's life, and they do. But they leave saying, the kid made more impact in my life than I made in theirs, right? That's the power of true mentorship, because it's reciprocal and it creates that value. And for those who are looking to get involved, all they have to do is go to bbbs.org to find a local agency in their community, or if they want to get involved, to say, maybe I can't volunteer in the way that I would expect that I would volunteer for one-on-one. That's okay. There are different ways to volunteer. There are different ways where if you want to sort of share experiences, if you want to do things in terms of developing career opportunities, if you want to give financially to invest in mentorship matches and supports, because our local folks on the ground are doing it up. Or if you want to use your voice to advocate, whether it's through social media, your connections, network, or support nationally, you have the opportunity to do that. But most importantly, whether it's with Big Brothers, Big Sisters, another youth organization, support young people in your community. become a mentor in some way and experience in your life, because not only are the kids going to be better for it, you're going to be better for it, and our community is going to be that much better because of your participation.
You really hit on so many important points there. And I love the fact when you talk about you don't need to be perfect. None of us are perfect, right? And there's no parent out there who is perfect. And so you can come in and be a mentor, and the kids will take away the good and the bad, right? Just like all of us may learn from our parents or other role models, those people aren't perfect either. And so you have to learn to sift and sift through what the good is, what the bad is. But what people need is somebody that cares, somebody that can show them that they love them, that they care about them, that they want to help them create the hope and possibility. Kayla?
Artis, I have one question for you, and it's really more of a request than a connection or question. If I asked you in 90 seconds to speak to the heart of every kid who's growing up without a mentor, and we just gave you the 90-second clip to be the 90-second mentor, what would your 90-second message be?
That you are loved, that you are embraced, that we believe in your power, we believe in your potential, we believe in the opportunity that not only you can create for your own life, but the opportunity that you can create for those around you, for your family, and for your communities. And know that every single step that you take, no matter what hardship, no matter who's there or the deficit of who's not there, that there's potential and opportunity and there's brightness in your life. And when it feels like you're alone, always remember you're not. There are other people that are facing the same challenges, that are facing the same hardship, that are facing some of the same problems. But what makes us who we are, what makes us special, what makes us unique is that we're human and that we can connect with others. And there are people out there who are willing to connect with you, but just know that you have everything that it takes to continue to strive, survive, and succeed in life. And to wish you the very best, and God bless.
So I want to say thank you. I recognize the deep, deep, deep work you're doing. I'm glad you're wearing a short sleeve shirt, because I'm sure your sleeves are rolled up all the time. So I recognize the work you're doing to build stronger, healthier, and more inclusive communities. I appreciate you coming out to Radio Road to share that message. And also, I quite frankly want to thank the NFL, because it was the NFL who asked us to interview you, because the NFL realizes this need. They realize the importance of giving back to the communities. So I think it's really important that we recognize this isn't just a mom and pop thing. This is an NFL thing.
Yeah.
And that tells us the magnitude of the problem, right, Artis?
It does. And keep in mind this, is that this week, right, in Super Bowl and beyond, this is one week where everything gets elevated, right? You know, we've been partners with NFL Inspire Change for a number of years here, and we couldn't have asked for a better partner who cares, who are connected, and who is making powerful impact to transform communities. Here's what I will tell you, though, that we know we have a challenge in front of us. I told you those statistics about mentoring and kids who are on our waiting list and the kids who don't have mentors. But that's why I'm so excited about this week and launching the big draft campaign that we're doing in partnership with the NFL. Because as the NFL is recruiting new players and drafting new players, what they're helping us to do is at the same time draft more mentors for young people. So if we're going to attack this problem, we need the apparatus of organizations and partners like the NFL who can help to elevate the message, who can help to provide resources, and who can help to mobilize players, stakeholders, partners, and communities. And that's what they're doing with us. We're creating on-the-ground work that's making a difference and driving outcomes in local communities. And it takes power, and it takes influence, and it takes partners who have that level of support and resources as NFL Inspire Change has helped us to do, and we're proud to be partners with them.
Artis, again, thank you to Big Brothers Big Sisters. Shout out to the NFL. My name is Kayla Bradham with Roy Kessel from Sports Philanthropy Network, reminding you to live generously. Thank you, Artis.
Thank you, Roy and Kayla.